The far left is nothing more than a coalition of fragmented groups standing on a platform of pure hypocrisy.
Okay.
That's my belief.
Can I ask, when you say the far left, who are we talking about
These
here?
people right here in this room.
Okay. Okay, so help me sort this one out, okay? Because this is my common rebuttal, okay? So when I ask people, like, who are the far left, okay? I get an answer like this, okay?
Right.
But then when they ask me and I talk about the far right, I would say the same about, like, Congress. So, like, I feel like as much as I love my fans and you guys are powerful, I don't know the capacity for changing the character of the United States or California or even LA. But for Republicans, I feel like they're changing the character of the entire country at an accelerated rate in a way that I really don't like. How can I make these two things equally threatening? Like, make me care about, you know, crazy college kids that are far left.
Well, the youth are the future, right? That's what we've been taught since we were born. The children are the future. So the reason why the far left leaning college kids are an issue is because these are the people who old people like me will hand this country over to. And we're in a time where, you know, it's an unprecedented access to new information, right? So you pretty much can go out and find something that supports what you want to believe within 2 or 3 seconds or minutes. It wasn't like that in the 60s. It wasn't like that in the 70s or the 80s. People had to actually go search for, you know, they had to go do research. You had to go to a library, open a book, and you know, when you're searching to find what you want to believe, like support for what you want to believe, oftentimes you'll find things that go against what you believe, but they make a lot of sense, right? Research is necessary. Now you put on TikTok, you got 100 people, an echo chamber saying exactly what you're thinking, and you really don't have a need to do any type of research, and that's the age we're in.
Sure, so I don't necessarily disagree with some of that. I mean, I would say that every age brings with it, like, access to information in ways that we didn't have before, right? And, you know, the printing press and, you know, radio and then TV. I think was Vietnam the one that they called the TV war, or whatever, the first, where you had people that had, like, video footage of soldiers coming back wounded and stuff, and you had a lot of college kids protesting that. For Iraq, that might have been the first time we had, like, embedded units where we were getting, like, reports, like, on the ground and video footage and everything, and now we're seeing, you know, 4K drone high-def footage of people blowing each other up in Ukraine, Russia, Gaza, Israel. Like, I do agree the information is increasing. The one thing I guess I don't like, or that I'm confused about when it comes to college stuff, when I look at, like, kids who are 18 to 22, aren't you supposed to be, like, kind of stupid? Isn't that, like, the time of your life to be crazy? Because if I talk to some, like, 20-year-old kid and I was like, tell me about your political outlook, and he's like, well, I'm a strong supporter of institutions and fiscal responsibility. I'm like, God damn, this is the most boring fucking household ever, right? Like, aren't I always, like, crazy? Isn't that normal?
Well, you know, Kamala Harris said the same thing about college kids being stupid, and look what happened to her. She didn't get elected, right? College kids are not stupid. They're in school for a reason. You know who's stupid? People sitting out on drugs, doing crime. They're stupid. College kids are in an age of where they're learning, and they're trying to grow into people who can, like, facilitate the continued prosperity of this country. Mm-hmm. The problem is we're not giving them a chance to learn through experience what older people, like their parents, already know.
What do you think is... So I do agree that college kids, for demographic reasons, and, like, if you're going to college, you're probably a little bit more intelligent. You go there to get more intelligent. Like, I agree with that. Have you ever played, like, board games or whatever?
Have I ever played board games?
Well, there's sometimes people are making, like, role-playing games. They've got, like, intelligence, and you got, like, wisdom. Right. Some people might call, like, street smarts or book smarts or whatever. You know, however people are life experience, common sense versus, you know, knowing things. Like, college kids can be smart, but oh my God, they can also be fucking stupid, right? Like, you'll see, like, a guy who's 22, you know, graduating college, maybe 21 early, you know, like, drunk driving or making the dumbest decision ever for the first time, crashes his car, you know, gets his girlfriend pregnant, you know, whatever stuff. Because, like, man, their kids are dumb. They make dumb mistakes. They do that. It'll happen. There's no way, like, part of the learning experience is making those mistakes and being crazy and being cringe, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, Mark Zuckerberg's not stupid. He was that age at one point, and he created $1 billion company. The more access you have to information, the less ignorant you are of what's going on. I could see the college kid, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off or something, like back in those days, yeah, you kind of were expected to be a little bit dumb and gullible, but now people have information, they have answers to things at the touch of a button. I don't think they're as ignorant or as stupid as we would like them to be.
But I mean, like,
I think the Democrats banked on that, and it like blew up in their face. And I think that's one of the hypocritical aspects of the far left, is that they expect everyone to be so dumb that they don't actually think, about the issues that they're expected to go vote on, and they just take somebody like Maxine Waters' word for it, somebody like Kamala Harris. Like, I don't think Kamala Harris is smarter than the average 21-year-old college student, honestly.
I think
they can string a sentence together. She can't.
Kamala Harris, if she can't string a sentence together, I have no idea how much you're paying for Trump translations, because there's no way you could understand anything that guy's saying. But like, okay, but let me just back up one more time to this, and then we can move on to the next thing. Do you have any kids?
Yeah.
You ever have somebody who doesn't have kids try to tell you how to be a parent?
Here's the real question.
Yeah.
Do they?
No. Well, most of them probably don't.
So,
but I'm just saying that, like, no matter how smart somebody is, every parent's had that experience where somebody who doesn't have kids is there telling them, what they're doing. It has nothing about them being smart or stupid or whatever. It's just they don't have the experience, the lived experience, right?
This is why your premise is totally bad faith, because your audience is a bunch of people who don't deal with the everyday struggles that you and I deal with. So you can talk. Hold on. You can talk to them. Listen, do you know how much I care about an illegal criminal alien immigrant when my daughter says, "Hey, Dad, I need $4,000 for club volleyball"? I'm like, I don't care about that. This is my issue that I have to deal with today. And when they have kids and they have to deal with paying for daycare, feeding those kids, providing a place for those kids to live, they're going to care a lot less about some guy in El Salvador getting due process when he's a criminal and he should be deported immediately.
It depends on what your lived experience is, though, right?
No.
Like when I was growing up, okay, there were family members of mine that were criminal illegal immigrants, because half of my family comes from Cuba. But now the difference is my mom loves the illegal immigrants from Cuba. She doesn't like the ones from South America or from Mexico.
Cubans traditionally hate illegals.
Well, once they're here, they do.
Of course, that's the way it's supposed to be.
I'm just saying, you can't say, you want to say Cubans hate illegals. They all wanted Elian Gonzalez to stay when he floated over.
He was legal.
No, he wasn't. They caught him they were illegally immigrating. Wait. They were immigrating illegally.
Okay. But did he touch the soil?
So do asylum seekers.
No. You're being disingenuous. There was a law where Cuban immigrants.
Yes, we had a wet foot, dry foot. I understand.
Legal. So let what's his name? Elian Gonzalez. Hey, let him stay. I want him to stay because that was the law of the land. So that's the difference.
But we're not talking about just what the we're not talking about just what the law is. I'm just saying that people can have different.
We're not talking about the laws.
We're not talking about just what the law is.
Oh, just what the law is.
No.
Well, that's what I live my life based on.
Well, we can change the laws, right?
You can, so go vote. Stop complaining.
We can do both. I have a First Amendment and the right to vote. But I'm just saying it's interesting to give so much credence to Cuban immigrants, but not to people from Mexico or South America.
Don't love them as much.
Why?
Because the Cubans believe what I believe. And they
so do a lot of Mexican immigrants and everything, too.
And I love those Mexican legal citizens.
Sure.
But as far as the illegal immigrants, ship them back.
Sure. Okay. That's a perspective.
This is a very simple thing to understand.
Well, it's not as simple. It's a complicated conversation,
It's really not.
If it was so simple, then Trump wouldn't have failed miserably for his first 4 years, and we wouldn't go these 4 years without him also failing miserably. By the end of these 4 years, Trump will not have any immigration legislation, number one, and he won't deport more than 1 million or 2 million people, number two. I guarantee you by the end of these 4 years.
That's totally fine. So why are you guys using that as a political talking point?
You wanted to bring it to legal immigration, so that's what we're talking about.
What you're actually afraid of is that what's going to happen is the same thing that happened with Kamala Harris during the campaign. Trump came up with a good idea that gained a lot of traction when it came to getting votes, and Kamala Harris jumped on it. No tax on tips. You're afraid that the Democrats will adopt Trump's policies because they are the policies that resonate with voters. So you have to take the college kids, the people with no real responsibility yet. I'm not trying to devalue you guys' experience. I'm just telling you, have you ever looked at a freaking mortgage that was like $5,000? Have you ever? Most people have not at this stage in their life.
Yeah, but people aren't voting all the time on wisdom. I saw Republicans celebrating the fact that they were going to have a tax deduction on the interest rate that you pay on a car loan.
I saw you
None
guys
of these people have any idea what this even means, but they were celebrating it. So the idea that people have some nuanced understanding of tax brackets.
Republicans celebrate a tax on car loan. I saw you guys celebrate some dude getting shot in the neck and make a joke and laugh about it. Which one is worse?
I would say the one that's worse is the president tweeting videos of Venezuelans getting
The
blown up
one
in the
that-
ocean. Wait, do you acknowledge that if celebrating the Charlie Kirk thing is bad, the Venezuelan thing is real bad?
The Venezuelan issue, why is that bad for me as an American?
Wait, do you not care when other people are killed?
Do you know that people in other countries don't give a damn about what happens to you in America?
I don't
Have you
care.
been
This
around
is
the world,
our
Destiny?
government. Yes, I have. This is our government blowing up other people. Why am I not allowed to care about that?
But you care about the government and what they do when it's something you don't like. But when when the leadership of the government is duly elected, you go and you tear at the validity of it as if, like, you don't respect the government, so why care about what they're doing?
If Biden was also
Overthrow it with the
if
insurrection
Biden,
like
if
January
Biden, yeah, I know
6th.
you guys tried that and failed once. If
I know.
Biden was doing this, if
We
Biden
failed.
was doing it, I would criticize Biden as well. I know it's inconceivable to MAGA sometimes. You could hold your own accountable because you guys are incapable of doing it. But when Biden does bad things, I'll criticize Biden for doing bad
Can
things.
you answer one question for me?
Sure.
Who's sitting in the White House?
Right now, probably Stephen Miller.
So,
What do you mean?
go on. So clearly we didn't fail. We were pissed off. We went down.
Wait, what is this? The conversation is not about who won the election.
Why
You guys
not?
are the ones that don't believe election
Your
results.
whole
I do believe the election results.
Your whole existence is about who won the election. This whole event is about who won the election.
We're having a conversation about policy and leadership right now, right?
We are, because I said the hypocrisy, and you're showing that hypocrisy.
What is
What's
the
price of-
hypocrisy?
Look, you have a kid, I have a kid. What's the price of eggs right now?
I don't know. I'm rich.
That's something that Yes. So give me some money.
You know what I do know is that the price of groceries as a whole has gone up over the last year, and no conservatives talking about it. Explain that one for
Hey,
me.
you know, I've been tracking that.
Okay.
We're living in inflationary times.
Oh,
If they could
now
take
they're
it
just
under
inflationary
Biden-
times.
Listen,
It's interesting that from 2020 to 2024, it was Biden's inflation. From
I love it.
2024 to now, it just is a thing that happens.
it's directly connected to Biden's horrible management of the government, and Trump's going to fix it. Let me say
What was
this.
the big thing? Wait, what do you think was what do you think was the number one thing that contributed to inflation through Biden's presidency?
I believe that, well, one thing was killing a bunch of chickens due to some mysterious. That was
strike
Biden's
one.
reason.
Try
That was
something else. Try
no,
something else.
that
What
was
did anything else happen?
Is that not? Is that
Did
not,
anything else happen?
Wait, before
Yeah.
we go forward, is that not the reason that Biden said the price of eggs went up, because they had to kill a bunch of chickens?
At one point in time, it might have been, but that's not what we're talking about. For the majority of his presidency, especially in the beginning,
So,
and then 2022 onwards, where were these big inflation hikes coming from? Were there two huge events that happened?
What I believe was.
Do we not know?
No, let me tell you. This is what my research that I did, because I'll be honest with you, I
Okay.
wasn't deep diving
That's
into
fine.
this because I was working to feed my family.
Okay.
But I believe the price of energy increased exponentially.
Okay.
And that creates it has a cascade effect. It raises the price of everything. Everything has to be shipped. If you raise the price of energy, then everything that has to be shipped, the price will go up.
Okay. I'm about to do a magic trick. Ready?
We know you
about to do a magic trick. Ready?
Make that disappear
So
for all these
I'm
people.
curious.
All right.
Why was the last year of Trump's presidency so horrible for the economy?
COVID. It was.
Okay. So the whole world economy is shut down.
Mm-hmm.
The government is having to keep things running in every country. Why can we blame COVID for Donald Trump's last year on COVID, but we can't also recognize the worldwide inflation that happened? Did Biden cause inflation in all the other countries too?
Biden caused inflation in America by locking everything down, bringing the American economy basically to a standstill. We should have kept doing. Let me tell you this: during COVID, right? I still could fly from America to Africa. I did it 4 times during COVID. KLM was still flying in, the airports were still moving, everybody's going everywhere. I could still walk into Costco, Rouse, and Stater Brothers, but I couldn't go into a mom and pop store to buy something because they had to shut down due to COVID. I couldn't go to a small restaurant, while Gavin Newsom's restaurant, the French Laundry, stayed open. The small business is the engine of America. When you shut them down, you shut the economy down. Corporations don't employ more people than small businesses. So I like your question. I think it was asked in bad faith, but that's how Biden shut
I don't think
down
my
the
question was
economy.
asked in bad faith. I'll also remark that it was interesting that you mentioned having to work through COVID to pay for your family, and the cost of eggs is important to you.
Oh, yeah.
But you know the name of an international airline, and you flew to Africa 4 times during COVID. I don't know where it
Work hard.
working hard. Yeah, okay, but I'm just saying that everybody around the world was figuring out how to deal with COVID. There were a lot of shutdowns. There was a lot of worldwide there was a lot of inflation everywhere. it's just strange that, when I'm asking, like, well, why for Biden? What happened in the United States? Well, it was like the after effects of COVID was happening, right?
Biden came in immediately, signed a bunch of executive orders that halted our economy. And then...
That things were already shutting down under Trump.
No, what? What was shutting down under Trump?
Everything.
No, don't say everything. Tell me what was
schools, businesses. I lived in California. Did you live here? Do you live in California?
Yes, I do. Schools are not businesses.
When COVID started, everything was shut down. I drove up and down the 5. I could go 10 miles in 10 minutes for the first time in my life in this state. Who remembers this? Everything was shut down. Hold on. I remember the lines outside the grocery store. I lived in Culver City. I remember the lines outside the grocery stores, right? We had to line up to get groceries. That was all of that under Trump.
Do you know why they had to line up?
Because Biden did it from the future? Was it the T-1000?
Because the small... No. That's because people were going in...
Under Trump.
No, but you know what was happening. People were fighting over
If
groceries.
Trump didn't shut down the economy, then why did COVID hurt his economy at all?
Trump didn't shut down the economy. Okay, look, like I said, the whole... you asked me a question. Can I ask you a question?
You haven't answered any of my questions.
I really did.
Can we acknowledge that
I explained the thing about
all the
small
shutdowns
businesses.
and all that stuff happened? That was under Donald Trump.
No, that was not. I don't know.
He was the president in 2020.
What did Trump shut down? Please tell me.
All the states that shut down.
The states are sovereign. So
then why does Biden get blamed for anything?
Can I finish?
Sorry, go ahead.
Can I finish?
You can finish.
Okay. The blue states shut down, draconian lockdowns. The red states, most of them did not. So that's the sovereignty of the state. But when Biden came into office, Biden was putting the pressure on the states to shut down. He was putting the pressure on the businesses of the states to lock down. So when the president says something, that gives validity to the illegal things that the states are doing. If Gavin Newsom is doing illegal shutdowns, if the president says, yeah, you should shut down, now it's easier for them to do because people look at
Then why didn't Donald Trump just tell all the states to open up?
He did.
No,
he was encouraging
No,
them.
he wasn't. The United States declared a global... This was one of Trump's biggest... I know we forget because we like to wipe the past. Donald Trump's biggest accomplishments was him shutting down flights from China and recommending people, take precautionary measures. Everybody blamed Cuomo in New York for murdering all the old people by sending grandma to an old person's home or whatever.
But didn't the Democrats argue that Trump didn't shut down flights in time? That's how COVID got into America?
Sure, because you could argue that you could have made it earlier.
No, which one do you want? Do you want to shut it down or not?
You're talking about what the Democrats said. I'm talking about factually what happened.
I'm bringing up what... Listen, I'm
just talking about what happened.
I was in Frankfurt Airport when Donald Trump shut down all flights coming from Europe into the United States. And I watched as airlines flew people into Canada and they went around Trump's rule.
Okay, so if Donald Trump was shutting down flights, wouldn't you say that counts as pressure to shut down the economy?
Because the Democrats were they were on one side. Okay, so on one hand, you want the flight shut down.
We're not talking about what I want. I'm just talking about what happened.
No, I'm talking about the hive mind.
You're talking about anything but what would give Trump accountability for anything.
You guys all think the same, so I'm just addressing you as general.
You said we all think the same. I literally predicted like 2 of your answers so far.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Should Trump have shut it down or should Trump have left it open?
I don't know what Trump necessarily should have done.
See, that's why I said it's bad faith.
Can I finish my... I let you finish.
I don't know.
I don't know what the answer should have been, but I know what the process should have looked
like.
What
would you have done?
The process should have been him conferring with the National Institute of Health, the CDC, and him conferring with the state governments to put together some kind of comprehensive guidelines for the whole country. Instead of hanging out Fauci to dry, watching the CDC and the NIH issue some kind of guidelines, and then whenever anything didn't go perfectly as planned, him lobbing grenades from the side like a loser, blaming everybody else for all of his problems.
We're not going to disrespect the president. We all watched the video of Anthony Fauci saying, "Oh, COVID-19 is not a big deal. You get a little flu, you might have a little cough, sneeze, whatever."
That was Trump.
When Donald
Trump.
There is a video. I watched it with my own eyes. Fauci dismissed COVID as a very minor thing. Later on, and Trump went with Fauci's advice. Then when they start saying, then all of a sudden everyone's like, "Oh, he should have shut this down and shut that down." I saw the trick. I saw how they went from saying it wasn't a big thing to worry about, and then all of a sudden it was the worst thing ever. But what I'm telling you is the arguments are in bad faith. Everything in this movement is built on inclusivity, equity, and justice, all this crap, right? But my thing is this: if we want inclusive, like, would you guys agree you want inclusivity and equity and all that? You guys don't want that.
Not anymore.
Do you guys want? I'm asking this question. I'm asking this question sincerely. This isn't good. Do they believe in that? Do you guys believe in that? Inclusivity, equity?
The problem is, like, this conversation is pivoted to a DEI question after your president killed like
what
a million
they
plus
believe in.
Americans, killed a million plus Americans by telling them not to get vaccinated because nobody had any idea what was going on in this country, what was going on with our health, what was going on with anything because of all the lies and misinformation and crazy stuff that was being put out.
So you don't know what Trump should have done, but you criticize what he did. And what I do, because this is how my parents raised me, I put myself in that person's shoes.
I told you what the process should have looked like. I don't know what the correct answer was.
I'm asking you, what would you have done?
I just told you.
No, you didn't.
You bring your cabinet, your leaders together, you make a comprehensive plan, you get all the governors on board with it, and then you have a unified plan from top to bottom for how you want to approach the country shutdown.
How do you do that when you have a two-party system where one side is vehemently opposed to working with you on anything? And I'm not saying...
Hold on, wait, excuse me. First of all, Donald Trump billed himself as the negotiator.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, you want to talk about a party that was opposed to everything. Seems like Biden had no problem bringing Republicans in to work on his legislation. When McConnell was the leader of the Senate, he said that he was going to make Obama a one-term president and shut down every piece of legislation that came across his desk.
Right.
So who's working with who here?
I think that there's room for bipartisanship. I do not believe that the Democrats were working in good faith with Trump because they were not happy that an outsider actually achieved the office of president like Trump did. They literally blocked Trump on so many different things. They basically were doing the same thing to Trump that you said was being done to Biden.
I don't even want to know what you're implying.
Okay,
what was the saying.
So this is the thing.
When I'm saying, first of all, Trump is not an outsider. Also, so Wharton
he's
graduate, billionaire guy, real estate investor.
He wasn't a politician.
So I mean, I don't know. Reagan initially wasn't a politician. What do you mean? Arnold Schwarzenegger was an actor. He made,
some of the best. The best were all outsiders.
When I see a guy who's being an asshole, I think people probably don't like him because he's an asshole.
What does being an asshole have to do with anything?
With whether or not people like you.
Are you not going to go to work because your boss is an asshole?
There's a lot of people that quit their job because they hate their boss. Yeah. What do you mean?
Those people are idiots. But what I'm telling you is this is more like the lane that I argue in, reality. You're arguing feelings, subjective crap that doesn't mean anything. Objectivity. If I want to argue something, objective. This is about inclusivity, equity, all that stuff. Why did you guys have to pay? If it's all about inclusivity and equity, we could have did this in the park with an iPhone.
If you want to talk about
you should donate your money to their colleges, like scholarship. I think you should donate the proceeds of this event.
Right now, I'm donating my money and my taxes so we can pay for a Venezuelan bailout. That's what we're doing right now, or Argentinian bailout. I don't even know who we're bailing out right now. Okay.
You would like what?
So that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm subsidizing all of the meth head, measles affected red states right now. That's where my tax money is going. Okay. I don't have any extra money right now to donate.
May I please make one statement?
What?
May I please make one statement?
Go ahead.
And I'll get off stage.
No, wait, hold on, wait. I have more questions. Why, if you want to talk about facts over feelings, why is it that when we ask about Trump's leadership through COVID, we have a million excuses for...
I don't have any excuses.
So he failed.
I'm not going to say he failed. I think he dealt with... No, listen. How can someone who admitted that they don't know what they would have done and they don't know what he should have done...
I wasn't the president.
That's the point. It is something that has... This is something that in our lifetime has never occurred.
Yeah, these are the Democrat arguments for why people were shutting down and people didn't know how long the economy should stay closed for and what the stimulus should look like.
Anybody can armchair...
Did Trump make any mistakes during COVID?
Look.
Did Trump make a single mistake during COVID?
Let me think. Did January 6th happen during COVID?
Maybe, yeah.
He should have never conceded the election. He should have just freaking kept. That was his only mistake. Now can I ask my question?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. All I'm saying is, will you, since we're all about flowers and equality and everybody get free stuff, people will argue for illegal criminal alien migrants to come live off the American dime, right? You want to give my taxpayer dollars to them. Will you give the proceeds from this event to these kids for whatever they want, just to make their life a little bit more equal to yours and mine since we're doing so well?
I've never advocated for that. What are you
talking
about? Well, there's no advocation for this.
So you don't want equity and economic equity?
Do you support Chicago police fighting back against ICE?
No.
Okay, so then you don't believe in the Second Amendment or the state's rights to have a militia?
No, that's not a militia.
That's literally what the militia is. The whole reason the Second Amendment exists was for the states to protect themselves from a tyrannical government.
Are you really going to try to conflate a paramilitary group, which is police?
The Chicago police?
The police department?
is paramilitary, but the guys coming from the Black Hawk choppers with the masks who are...
Dude, these guys have tanks. There are police departments with tanks.
No,
there's not.
Paramilitaries have tanks. What are you talking about? What does that have to do with anything?
There are police departments with tanks.
Well, so? Yeah, they get it from the military.
That makes them paramilitary. What I'm telling you is this. That is not a militia. The police, the law enforcement's job is to uphold and defend the Constitution. That's what their job is.
To enforce their
when
state
they're
laws.
fighting against
to
the
enforce
federal,
their state laws.
Listen,
state sovereignty doesn't matter
when
now to
they're-
conservatives?
You're conflating two different things.
I'm not conflating anything.
You kind of just going off of an emotional thing.
I'm not going off an emotional. I'm going off a legal thing. You're going off of emotions. You think cops are there to make you feel
the
good?
federal government,
state police are there for state laws. Local police are for local laws. The federal government is there for federal laws.
The federal government trumps, no pun intended, any local law enforcement.
If they trump any local law enforcement, well, you tell me. Why did Trump allow half the country to close then under COVID?
Huh?
Why did Trump allow half
the...
I'm not moving the goalposts. The president has that much control over everything. Then why did Trump allow half the country to close under COVID?
Someone may want to do that with you, but I'm not doing it. Are we talking about the police departments committing treason against the federal government?
They're not committing treason. They have no obligation.
That's exactly what they're doing.
They don't have obligation to enforce federal law.
They took an oath to defend the Constitution and the citizens under their care.
The police force is there to enforce the laws that they have jurisdiction over.
But
not federal laws.
But the police forces are abandoning their responsibility, like in Portland.
They don't have an obligation
Come on,
to
man.
do that.
They did. When you call the police in Portland, they don't show up for 3 hours. Someone got knocked unconscious the other day in Portland. The ICE agents had to come get that guy off the street and bring him in for medical care.
Yeah, there was a lady that got shot and killed by the feds in the Capitol building on January 6th when Trump refused to send anybody there.
She shouldn't have been trying to break into Congress.
Sure, but Trump also probably shouldn't have told them all to go there, right?
He did tell him to go peacefully.
No, he said they would be marching peacefully. He also don't fight like hell or they're going to lose their country, and that's what they went and did.
Hey, I saw you lose this argument on Jubilee.
I didn't lose this argument. I won it completely. It's completely 100%. I know every part of that argument.
Trump said peacefully and patriotically.
Trump said fight like hell or you'll lose your country. If he said peacefully and patriotically, how do so many people misunderstand him?
So anytime you...
Is he a bad communicator too?
Listen, I heard Hillary Clinton say, I'm a fighter. Kamala Harris said, I'm a fighter. Neither one of these women have ever...
How many people do you see fighting in the street with Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris banners?
Dude, I saw a kook on the freeway earlier. Biden Harris and Harris Walls on the freaking bumper sticker with all these other cat stickers.
These are car driving.
These are... How did they get
This is like the conservative machine right
they
here.
get a
This is your
license?
problem,
Yes.
is the bumper stickers.
Yes,
That's what's
yes.
driving you crazy.
I'm just listen, Destiny, I'm a common man, and my concern...
You had 4 trips to Africa over COVID. What kind of common man?
Very common. I'm a common man. I have my concerns are those of a common man. Arguing all these different issues, it means nothing to me.
Not compared to DEI?
How do I feed my family, and are you going to give the proceeds from this event to these beautiful people who showed up? I don't think they got the show they wanted, because those first 3 guys were terrible.
After you defend states' rights to defend themselves from a tyrannical federal government.
How about this, guys? How about I'll give you everything in my pocket, you guys divide it up immediately. Destiny donates the proceeds of this event to you guys equally.
All right, final.
I think that's a good idea.
Brandon gets the final word there. Brandon gets the final word. What do you got?
My final word is this, guys. Just wait a little while. Don't be so hyped up over what's happening even now. In 3 years, Donald Trump's going to be gone, and you're going to have to make a very important decision about the future of this country. I would start preparing to make the right decision about that instead of complaining about something you can't change. Trump will be president for the next 3 years, whether you like it or not. In 4 years, a lot changes. A lot of you will have families, maybe kids, whatever that you want or you don't want. When you start having those type of responsibilities, your entire perspective is going to change. Mine did as I got older. I would not hang my hat on this crap because you're going to inherit this country and your children will inherit it from you. Don't create a situation that they can't come back from. And I think that's what we're at risk at with this type of rhetoric. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brandon. Put your hands together for Brandon. He had a really good run. All right. Wow.